going to see if we're getting set up here. Hello, hello, Facebook. Hello, YouTube. Hi. Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us. We're just getting a little set up here behind the scenes. Welcome, welcome. My name is Ashley, and I'm here in the Artesprix craft room. If you're here, if you're joining us, if you can see us, if you can hear us, put something in the comments, because we will be active in the comments, answering your questions. Tell us what you want to see, what questions you have. And for those of you who have no idea who I am, where I am, again, my name is Ashley, and we're here in the Artesprix craft room, and we like to call ourselves the inventors of sublimation crafting. We were the first to market in 2018 with our sublimation markers, and we have been growing our line of sublimation arts and craft supplies ever since. So if you have questions, put them in the comments and let us know if you can hear us. We want to double check that everything is working properly. So please, if you're here, join us, whether you're in the YouTube chat or the Facebook chat. Tell us where you're watching from and that you can hear us and everything looks great on your end, because this is the first time we are doing YouTube live from the craft room. I don't think we've ever done a YouTube live from the craft room. So thank you again for joining us. Today I thought it would be fun to do a last minute hostess gift for the 4th of July. So over the weekend at Stamp Fest, we were using this star stencil to create coasters with our ink pads, and I thought this would be the perfect last minute hostess gift. So why not put it on a kitchen towel that they can actually throw into the wash every time, and then they can use it next year. So that's what we're going to be doing today. And this kitchen towel is in the Artesprix shop. It is 100% polyester. It is so soft, and you can actually use it like it's a good kitchen towel. I use kitchen towels like this all the time in my kitchen. So that's what's going to be great about it. It's the same professional sublimation crafting that you know from the printer, but without the printer, and that's why you can wash this after we're done with it so many times. So let's talk about, just really quickly, what is sublimation? Sublimation is a chemistry term. It's when something goes from a solid to a gas, skipping the liquid phase. So our design on the paper is a solid. We're going to trap it with heat and pressure with our heat press, and then it's going to bind to the kitchen towel, and that's why you can wash it every time you wash your towels from now until next July, and use it every year. Okay, so that's a little bit about what sublimation is. Now let's talk about what we need for the project. As I mentioned, we are going to be using our sublimation ink pads, because we're going to be doing the same type of project. Instead of doing a small coaster, though, we're going to do a big kitchen towel. So that's the second thing you need, is your blank. This is our 100% polyester kitchen towel. We're also beginning using plain paper. We have our blending brushes, our stencils, a little crafting tape to keep everything in place, and then our heat tape, and then of course we have our protective paper, which is going to protect all of our work surfaces from this powerful heat activated ink. So I'll go over that a little later. Our heat press is on. You definitely want to use a heat press for a blank like this, because it is large, unless you're going to be doing like a bunch of small designs, but that's another live for another day. Okay, so I think that's everything. Let me go ahead and grab some paper. Haley, do we have anybody in the comments? Do we have any questions so far?
No, we do not. But the YouTube is looking a little wonky.
Laggy?
I don't know. It says that it's on, but then when I go to YouTube, it's not showing up as a live.
Maybe it's because it's like what we did over the weekend. It's unlisted, so we'll post it afterwards.
Okay.
And then, so forgive us, YouTube. You're not going to be able to chat with the comments, but that's okay. You're still going to find out about this amazing project, and you can, of course, put your questions in the comments thereafter, and we're happy to answer them then. Okay, so what are we going to do first? We are going to take, this is an extra long sheet of paper, so because this is wide, okay, I found this sheet of paper. I think this is going to be perfect because it lines up like it's the same width. So I thought this would be good. So I, found this in the supplier room. But this is just plain copy paper. It was in a stack. Like, I don't know if it's laser. I don't know if it's the weight. I don't know any of that. It's not glossy, whatever. Any paper goes. Just don't use sublimation paper. All right, so the first thing we're gonna, and this is my nice white kitchen towel, so I'm gonna put this somewhere else. I don't want it right now. I want to keep it away from my inks. I don't want it to get any ink on it before I'm ready to transfer, because wherever this ink goes, it will transfer. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is we are going to tape our stencil to the paper, and I'm gonna go this way, and I'm gonna do it a little bit off and a little bit up from the bottom. And then I'm going to use washi tape to secure it. So just a few pieces along the top and the side. Okay. All right, so then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my blue sublimation ink pad. Okay, so this is heat activated ink in ink pad form, and I'm going to take my blue blending brush, shout out to Hero Arts for the blending brush, and then I'm just going to start doing small circles, and there's no rhyme or reason, like you can just go. Now, of course, you can be strategic with certain, you know, where the stars are. You could like be like, okay, I want this one to be blue, I want this one to be red, I want this one to blend, I want this one to be darker than this one. What we're going to go for is we're going to go for dark on the bottom of our towel and then a little lighter. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to do some more blue. Again, I'm going for dark. All right, and then we are going to pause. I like to flip these over, put my blue blending brush and my blue ink pad lid to keep them all separate. And then I'm going to pick up my red sublimation ink pad blending brush, and I'm just going to go fill in the spots. Okay, and there we go. And then when you're done, you just lift up the stencil, okay, and then there we have it. So, like a cooking show, I have already done the dark. Okay, so you can see how dark that is, how rich that is. I'm going to leave this right here. So I'm going to save this for another project and show you guys. So this is the one I already did with it's dark along the whole bottom. So now what I want to do is, because I want to like an ombre, and it's such a big kitchen towel. I know I threw it off screen, but it's such a big kitchen towel that I want it to be dark on the bottom, and then lighter in the middle, and then essentially like next to no stars on top. So this is our dark. So now let's go ahead and make our light. And I didn't do that ahead of time, so you guys are going to see it in real time here, okay? And I'm going to put another piece underneath, because I want to keep my work surfaces clean, and best to have a nice recycling bin in your craft room for all the paper you don't use like we do. Okay. And so like I said, we're going to go for a little lighter this time, okay? So I'm going to start with the red and just lightly going to blend, very lightly, okay? Any questions? Any questions? Is anybody watching? Anybody tuning in yet?
There is no questions.
Okay. Thank you for watching. Thank you for tuning in. If you're catching the replay, don't be afraid to let us know where you're watching from. And again, put those questions in the comments. We'll be monitoring them all the time. So if you have any questions, we are here to help. So again, just lightly with that blue, and I'm going to go lightly with the red. Okay, guys, while I'm blending and moving myself right along here, I want to tell you we have a Made in the USA sale this month, 25% off select items and no code needed, okay? So you can just go to the website and shop, put your favorite things in the cart, and then you will see that discount automatically applied at checkout. So go see what is USA made in the Artesprix shop. You might be surprised. A few things: the ink pads, the heat tape, some blanks, not the kitchen towel, but some other blanks. So what's cool about this technique is it can be used on any blank. So we were using it on a coaster over the weekend. Perfect for a Hostess gift. Also made in the USA. So you could definitely do the coasters. And if you're like, Ashley, 4th of July is this weekend. I'm like, I don't have everything that I need. You might be surprised what blanks you can find on Amazon that might ship next day. And so you know, you might surprise yourself. Also, don't forget, ribbon is polyester, lace is polyester. There are ways that you can get creative with blanks that are not traditionally marketed at Sublimation, but because they have that polyester count. So for those of you who don't know, we're just looking for a good polyester count for our transfer. So anything 65 or more is good. So if you're like, I am not sure, I found this shirt at Walmart, it's like dry fit, will it work? If it's 100% polyester, it will work. So you don't necessarily need something that's marketed for sublimation, you just have to kind of know what you're looking for. Okay, so we're gonna move this second. Oh, this is looking good, you guys. I'm very happy with the way this is going. See how this is looking darker, lighter. Okay, we might even do it again. All right, here we go. Let's do our last one of light. Okay. And just again, lightly, little circles. And you could use a masking technique to get these stars to be perfect, but we're going for firecracker vibes, firework vibes. It does not have to be perfect. We are just, this is DIY, okay? And then also I love the idea of sharing this project as a last minute, oop, that one came out a little dark, but that's okay. Last minute Hostess gift. So we don't have time for that. We are rushing. We only have 60 seconds to transfer. So look at that. I am super happy with that. Okay, so we have 1, 2. I'm really happy. Let's do it again. Let's go one more time, okay? I'm really pleased with that. Let me grab another sheet of long paper. Whoops, sorry. Forgive us. It's a little shaky. It's a good moment to move things because I'm off camera. Okay, are we good? Awesome. Sorry about that. Okay. Now let's do the light. So we're gonna start over here. Okay, and then again, just lightly. What else is going on with Artesprix? We have our blank of the month, which are patches. So these are great for when you want to use something that's not made for sublimation. You can sublimate on the patch and then adhere to the patch to the item that might not be compatible for sublimation. Those come in at 2 counts. So check out the blank of the month patch. And then we also have our blank of the month blog feature this month, which is by Debbie J, her crafting corner. So you essentially go on the homepage and you can see a blank of the month project right there. So go ahead and check that out. And also something that we just started doing is a seasonal spotlight. So if you go on the homepage, you can see some projects that we pulled that are just basically seasonal inspiration. So there's like a back to school project. There's a travel project for like a picture frame. Maybe you want to feature something from your last trip. So yeah, there's lots that you can do there with those as far as seasonal projects. Summer is not over. It's just starting. I know that like as far as like posting goes and stuff, we do have back to school projects already up because by the time we change the homepage again, guess what? It's August, and I don't know about you guys, but in Florida, we go back to school pretty early. The first day of school is August 11th. So we gotta share those back to school projects now, because come this time next week we'll be 1 month out from back to school. Sorry for those in New England. You're like, listen, I can't wrap my mind around it. The kids just got out of school last week. Well, in Florida, we are essentially 1 month out from back to school. So we are already sharing those projects. It just depends where in the world you are. All right, so blue. Look at this. I'm so excited. Last one. Okay, just lightly, right? Lightly. Amazing, amazing. Ta-da! Oh, I'm so excited. This is gonna look so good. Look. Dark, medium, light. It's gonna be like this. Grace, we haven't even done anything yet. I'm so excited. It's gonna look fantastic. Okay, what I need to do though, off camera, forgive me, is I have this like slicer, or actually my Haley, you know what we need to do? We just need to slice each. We just need to slice each one. So like, for example, can you make this one like you know, this is like, right? We should just cut this off. And if I have it, it's okay if it's like a little at an angle, but I want don't cut off any of the stars. Like just like see how there's a smudge there?
Yeah.
Let's cut off that smudge, this smudge. But I'd rather have the stars be a little uneven and have it not be perfect than like have it be a half cut off star.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So let's cut off this, and let's cut off. This one might not need so much of a cut off. I kind of like the fade. And then where's my other one? This one. This one's okay. Let's just cut off this one because I've got a lot of smudges.
Okay.
Thank you. Thank you. I know not everybody has an off-camera assistant when they're doing craft projects. Can only be so lucky. Okay, really quick, let's clean this stencil with our multi-purpose cleaner. Also made in the USA. Actually, just made right here in the lab in Sarasota, Florida. For those of you who don't know, we are located in Sarasota, Florida, sunny West Coast, Florida. So we make that cleaner, thank you, downstairs. So it is also included in the Made in USA sale. So go shop the cleaner. It's also great for all sorts of other inks too. Ta-da! Came off with a breeze. All right, lids are on. Oh, also the stamp pads are available in a set, which is discounted. And then because it's part of the USA sale, it's even more discounted. So like you can get the set, the stamp ink pad, sublimation ink pad set for like a really good deal. Like maybe like $55, and they're usually $10 a piece. So go check that out. All right, so this heat press is 9x12, and our towel is bigger than that. Wherever I threw it off camera. Here, I want to make sure my hands are clean. Inky. I'm gonna just get this one off. Where's that? Just a little inky. Because I want to keep my towel white where I want it, and red and blue where I want it. Okay? Alright, so first thing we're gonna do, I'm just going to move these over. I want to make sure I keep everything over. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna cut off this tag. Lovely tag over there. All right, and then what we're going to do is we're going to take our darkest one and we are going to hang it off the edge just a little bit. Now it is technically a little bit wider than our piece of paper, but it's DIY, okay? So don't remember that. Remember that it's DIY, and remember that it's all part of the fun. It's all part of the sublimation surprise. Okay, so I'm using my heat-resistant tape to secure this in place during the transfer process. Okay, I think the best course of action is to do multiple presses, which technically is against the rules with sublimation, but this is sublimation crafting, and so we break the rules all the time. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna protect our press, because I wanna keep the other side of this kitchen towel white, and I don't know what's hiding under here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to put a piece of siliconized protective paper. This is not parchment paper. It's not butcher paper. It's siliconized paper. It's what the professionals use to keep all their blanks and equipment nice and pristine. And so because this is bigger, I'm gonna have to do this twice. It's called a tile technique. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna put this side in first, and then I'm gonna put a piece of protective paper on top, and then press it, and then we're gonna move it over, okay? I'm gonna move it back a little bit, make sure it's under the press, make sure it's flat, everybody's happy. And then protective paper is also keeping this part white where I want it for our second press. Okay, I need a little bit more pressure. Okay, so we'll leave it like that. We'll get ready for our second press. So this is the one that's next lighter. So I'm just gonna go like this. And I'm also going to tear this part of the paper so that I don't get any harsh press lines. All right. Save that. And then we have 30 seconds, and I'll do the same thing on this one. And also there's some like smudges and like harsh lines from the stencil, so I'm just gonna put a piece of heat tape over that so it looks more like natural. You know, we don't want to give away that we use a stencil. We want people to think that like this was like some, you know, Houdini drawing fanciness, when really it was a stencil, just a regular old stencil. All right, we have 5 seconds. Okay, and so all we're gonna do, the heat tape is keeping everything in place. We're just going to move everything over very carefully and keep everything in place and press again. Ooh, nobody move a muscle because the stars are a solid. And then with heat and pressure, we are trapping them. So I want them to go exactly where I want, but look, can you see? Can you already see? Look how good this looks. Oh my God, I have to share. Look! Can you see? I'm so excited. The rest is gonna look so good. Also, going back to what I was saying about, you know, last minute blanks, guess where we got this? How cute. We got it at the Dollar Tree. So many items at the Dollar Tree are polyester. The pot holders are polyester. They even have red ones. You could go pick up one of those, grab a black ink pad, and do a USA stamp with our block alphabet, which we might do depending on time, all over the pot holder. That is, what are we talking here? $1.25 Hostess gift. I mean, yes, you have to buy the ink pad, but the ink pad will, you know, you can use it over and over again. You're gonna get lots of life out of that ink pad. So $1.25 for a blank sounds pretty good to me. Okay. You guys, look at that. All right. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. So we're gonna do this. Okay. And then heat tape. Okay. Again, making sure everything looks lined up. There's no ink on it, so we're going to reuse this again. And I'm going to move it back. Also, make sure that you have enough protective paper to protect the stars that are already in there. So I'm just going to put another piece back there just in case. Because there's no ink on the protective paper, you can reuse it. So I'd rather have it and use it, make sure everything looks good, and reuse it than not have it and, you know, wish I would have used it. So just better yet, always to just better to use protective paper. And same with the heat tape. You worked hard creating your project. You want to keep it in place, you know, while during the transfer. So the heat tape helps you do that. It is great, and it's also available in a mini roll. So if you're like, what's the hype on this USA made heat tape? I have a heat tape that, you know, I get from Amazon, from China, that I like, and you're like, oh, what's all this hype about this Stronghold high-tack USA made heat tape? Go treat yourself to a mini. You get 25% off on that because it's made in the USA, and then you're going to be like, okay, now I understand the hype. I understand why this green tape is everybody's favorite. All right, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, and then we're just gonna move everything over.
Ashley, you also have a comment from Karen. She says, hello from Lake of the Ozarks.
Hi, Karen. Happy 4th of July week. I hope you're enjoying yourself. I'm not sure if you're doing any last minute crafting, but that's what we're all about today. Last minute Hostess gift. All right, protective paper and press again. And again, I'm just going to lift up this side because I can't help myself. Yes, this is looking exactly how I wanted it to. Now, I will say, it's so funny. I think that these look light here, but they're going to look darker. But that's obviously a part of the sublimation process. Is if you've ever looked at a sublimation printout from a printer, it's going to look muted and dull and not as what you might have thought. You might think your computer is broken if it's the first time you've ever used a sublimation printer. Well, our products are no different. Same rules apply. You're just going to look muted on the paper, dull, a little drab. But once heat and pressure, the colors come to life. Call it science, call it magic, all of the above. So all part of the process. So I'm interested to see how light these actually are. You know, maybe you know, next time I could even do an even lighter hand, right? Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right, we'll check this one out. Oh, so fun. Now I'm going for firecracker, firework vibe. So it's not perfect, but that's okay. All right, and then a little overlap. Okay. Let's do this. And then the heat tape again. Tell us if you have any questions in the comments. We are here to answer any questions you might have. If you're a new friend from Stamp Fest, we had a great time. Welcome. We're so happy to have be connected with you on social after the event. It was a great time, and we enjoyed teaching all the paper crafters about how they can use their stamps and stencils for sublimation, just like today, just like this project. All right, this protective paper is still going strong, okay? I don't see any ink on it. I don't see, so I'm still using it. I don't know if you guys have noticed, but I've been using the same bottom piece of protective paper for 1, 2, 3, 4. This is the 5th time. I've also been using the same top piece. Sorry, 1 second. Okay. So this is the 5th time I've used this protective paper. Oh, you know what? I'm gonna do it this way. I was gonna do it this way, but it's better to, because then I would have had to go in and it would scrunch up on the middle. So I'm actually better off. Sorry, turning the kitchen towel around now that this side is the longer side. Does everybody see what I'm doing here? I have to turn it around. So now I'm on the other half of the kitchen towel. I'm on the other half. Make sure it's flat. Make sure there are no wrinkles. You will be sad if you don't take the time to make sure it's flat. Also, paper on top. Face down, secure, press. Woo! I'm excited. You know, Haley, I was thinking maybe we could use the USA like a border since we have
that would be
since
cute.
we have that extra space in between. So maybe that's what we'll do. So maybe I'll start on that while we're waiting. Do we have anybody else joining us? Do we have any other questions?
We do have more people joining us.
Hello, everyone. Happy Wednesday. Is everybody checked out of work? We're like, what? We're like here, but we're like not really here. Okay, I'm not using a blending brush. What am I doing? All right, so these are our stamps from our block alphabet, okay? So we have our block alphabet stamps. These are sublimation stamps that are non-mirrored for sublimation. So just quickly, traditional stamps, like I say, traditional sublimation. Traditional stamps are mirrored, so then that way on the paper they read correctly. Well, we want our words on the paper to be mirrored. So Artesprix came out with a line of sublimation stamps so that you can use use the letters to create words, and then that way you don't have to worry about them being mirrored. So they're already ready to go. All right, so we're going to slide this over. Keep everything white where we want it, and blue and white where we want that. Okay. All right, so this is what we're going to do. USA, oops, USA, and I'm just going to go like this. Oh, I'm excited. I'm going to space it out. I'm not going to space it out perfectly, but of course, if you wanted to, you could use a ruler.
We have a comment from Liz. She said she bought the kit at Stamp Fest, and she didn't know that you could use stencils with the ink pads. She said she would have preferred buying the ink pads, and do we have a kit with the ink pads in it?
We have this set, Liz, and also wonderful to meet you. You must have come on Saturday when we were doing the black ink pad with the markers, coloring it in like a magic coloring book. So you're right, you did not, if you were there on Saturday, you did not see the colored ink pads in action. I wish we could have I wish we could have the paints out and all the things out, so forgive us. Okay, let's check everything out. Oh, I absolutely love it. It's exactly how I intended it to be. 1, 2, 3, it's a little hot. Let me grab this tape. Ta-da! So we have it dark at the bottom. We use a heavy hand, and it got lighter, and I could even go again. So, but for the sake of time, we're just going to add our border, and then you guys can use your imagination if we were to have kept going. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to, who has time for that? I'm just going to rip it in half. Okay, and then I'm going to tape this. Oh, how lucky am I that it lined up perfectly as far as length goes. So excited. Should I go buy a lotto ticket, you guys? Okay. And so Liz, just to go back to your question, so we don't have like a kit with the ink pads, but we do have, you already have protective paper in the heat tape because you got that in the starter kit, the sublimation starter kit with the markers. And then all you need is the ink pad set. And again, I think it's like really heavily discounted right now because of the USA made sale. So that's good. All right, so I have this taped down on my border. So I just have USA 1, 2, 3, 4 times, just like this, because we're gonna do the other side. Right like that. Okay, and you guys, I'm still going strong with this protective paper. This is a perfect example of what happens when you use things that are tools that are made for its intended purpose. This siliconized paper is designed to be used in a heat press over and over again. If there's no ink on it, you can reuse it. Parchment paper is meant for baking. Butcher paper is meant for like seafood. So we're all about like using, chemist on crafters. We can't help ourselves. All about safety. So that is why so I hope you guys are impressed with the siliconized paper because it is the truth. You can reuse it over and over again. All right, top piece to protect my heat plate. Also, I want to protect all these stars from going anywhere. Press again, and then one of our USAs didn't make it. So I'm just going to keep it all taped, and if some of the USAs in the middle get pressed twice, no big deal. That was the same with the stars. Not a problem. Not a problem. So done with this. I should clean this off. It doesn't look like I need to do too much, but just like other inks in your craft room, it will stain your stamps and stencils, but it will never have an adverse effect on it as far as functionality. Will not affect that at all. Okay, so what else? Sublimation Camp is this month. So our good friend Angie Holden and Corey Angie Holden from Angie Holden Makes and Corey from Hey Let's Make Stuff. This is their event, and we are super, super proud and excited to be a part of it. It's a free event, so if you're like, what is sublimation? I want to know more about it. I want to know more about all the possibilities. Go check out that information. We posted about it to the Facebook page yesterday. All right, I'm just going to lift this up, keep everything in place. Let's do it again. This is looking so good. Now, that I do really think, like, if we were using paint, I wouldn't be able to reuse the protective paper as much, but because we're using ink pads with that, like, light-handed method, I think that's why we're getting away with using our protective paper so much. If you did not see June's YouTube video, go check it out. Very similar, using stamp pads and markers, but also a great way to show you, like, you know, if you're painting with our products or doing something, then, like, let's show you how you can use that, like a leftover piece like this. Like, this was a leftover piece that I had from something else. Like, let's save it, let's use it for something else. So if you're ever like, what do I do with this extra ink splotch that's, you know, I was using with my Artesprix products, go check out last month's June YouTube video. We're showing you how to, like, create fun backgrounds with things like that. And subscribe so you don't miss the next one if you haven't already to our YouTube channel. And don't forget that on the Artesprix website, the search bar is an amazing tool. All right, let's check out how these turned out. Fun. So fun. Okay, look at that. All right, let's do the other side. Really quick, and then this is it. This is our last press, and we maybe we'll keep going off camera and do the whole thing, because I think that might be cool. Okay, don't do it upside down. We want the USAs to both be facing in. So, like, we don't want the, you know, we want all the U's this way. Okay. Dun 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 dun. Piece of tape here. Piece of tape here. Okay. And then back in the press we go. Still going strong with the siliconized paper. That siliconized paper is crispy. Okay. What was I saying? Oh, you can go on the website and search summer. You can search back to school. You can search USA and get all the inspiration you need. You can also search by blank. You can also search by technique. You can go on our website and type in shaving cream and see all the projects where we use shaving cream with our inks to make fun projects. So whether it be by the holiday, by the blank, by the type of product ink used, I mean, you have options in regards to getting that inspiration you need, the information you need, the support that you need, the instructions, all of that is available on the website.
Liz asked, should blending brushes be separate from regular blending brushes used in regular ink pads?
Yes, Liz, fantastic question. Thank you so much for bringing that up. These are designated for sublimation ink. So for those who like to dabble in, you know, regular ink pad blending, we highly recommend keeping your blending brushes separate. Also because of the way sublimation is and how things are darker, like this is the pink, but look how dark it is. I just wouldn't want the pink that actually looks like this in your regular stamp set to get, you know, have the color be affected because the color is so muted for sublimation. Like your pink is not going to look like the same pink as ours. So just that's a good, but fantastic question, and thank you for bringing that up. Okay, one last press. One last press. I'm so excited how this is going to look. And again, because this is sublimation ink, we're going to be able to throw this kitchen towel in the washing machine with all the rest of your kitchen towels that you use. Okay, this isn't the kitchen towel that gets draped over the oven that no one's allowed to touch. That's not this towel. We want you to use this towel. We want you to wash this towel. We want you to use it for grime, grease, cleaning products, all the things. And your transfer will not be affected. It's going to look the same as it does the day we transferred it, July 2nd. So, go shop the Made in the USA sale. Go check it out. I think you'd be surprised. We try to support USA made as much as possible. Also assembled in the USA. I mean, there's just a handful of things that it doesn't include. So go check that out. And be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're going to be doing more YouTube lives. And if you're watching from Facebook, thank you for watching, and we're going to be doing more in the group. So join the Facebook group if you haven't joined it already. So look at that. Look at our border. I absolutely love it. We're going to keep going, but this is just a fun way for you to make a last-minute Hostess gift that they're going to love and that they're going to be able to use. So again, if you're catching the replay, drop your questions and comments in the chat. We look forward to answering them and connecting with you there as well. And until next time, stay crafty. Check out the sale, check out the blogs, and get inspired. We have all sorts of things, whether that be the next seasonal celebration or holiday. We have stuff to help you get crafty and make something that will last forever, that is lifetime permanent. So have a great, happy 4th of July, and thanks for watching. Bye.